This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.
Like we get to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, nitty-gritty. So yeah, the other day I was off the back of I was being very liberal in 2020. I was reading an article the other day, and the woman was saying that in order to entertain her man, she was going to invite another female into the said room where her and her husband share. So the question is that a positive thing or is that detrimental to the relationship of his and hers? You understand?
Do you think it depends on the people?
Yeah, to be fair,
the relationship.
That is literally...
You can't just say, there is no blanket answer for that. I reckon it's the two people that are involved in the relationship. It's up to them whether or not it frig up the relationship or not.
Frig up the relationship. What is the English pronunciation?
To mess up the relationship. It may do, it may not, but we can't come here and say, yes, it will help you. No, it won't.
I don't know. Okay, so from my perspective, if your relationship is already bad and you're thinking you're planning on doing this to save your relationship,
it's a red.
Because you're gonna have to look at
you're just inviting
trouble.
You're inviting
trouble dead. Yeah, because you're gonna have to look at your man with somebody else.
And he might treat her with tenderness that he ain't treated you with for time.
Do you know, funny enough, I actually think that goes back to the conversation that we had about the conversations that you should be having in order to save yourself from heartbreak.
Boom. Shot fired. Yeah, I like that.
So let's say we meet, we're in talking stages, and I express to you that I'm open to the idea of polygamy or
threesomes.
Threesomes, however you would coin.
Yeah.
Whatever term you coin.
This is how wide my circle is. Do you match it?
Yeah, do you match it?
Yeah. And don't try and match circles where you can't manage. Basically.
Yeah. And I think if we, as in our adult stages, we're more willing to be open and honest about things or the boundaries that we're willing to sort of explore, it would make dating a lot easier. I mean,
if people are honest, it make dating easy.
I think if people are honest, it would make you can establish compatibility easier. Rather than sort of, I think a lot of people go into relationships blind.
Yeah.
Not for one of people don't want to be honest because, again, as we clarified earlier on in a different segment, they're scared of scaring the other person off.
Okay.
But that is a bad attitude to have.
From the get-go.
But because dating has become it's almost like a chess game. So it's about the chase.
Yeah, which is foolishness.
I mean, when you get to a certain age, the chase is no longer exciting. Do you know what I mean?
About now.
Flipping 34. I ain't got time to be chasing nobody's gal picnic.
It's about right now. My girl, not when you can't make me chase you right now. Yeah, trust me.
No, because it's almost, I almost feel like a creep.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you. Do
you know what I mean? So
100.
If we kind of see past that, and I think now, as much as there's certain things that we have accepted, there's certain changes that we've accepted, and there's also certain expectations that we need to kind of be realistic about. Men are expected to do the whole 90 yards where dating is concerned. Men are expected to prove themselves where dating is concerned. As men, we've never been programmed to think about what we expect from women. We've never been.
Just about to say
Do you know what? That is a very good point, and it's something I'm going to teach my sons. Like, you have to. What do you expect from your woman? And make it plain and clear.
Make it plain and clear, and make her actually prove herself as worthy of your hand.
Because it's always the other way around.
It's always been based on.
It's wild because it should be both ways.
It's been based on this old school value of men open doors, etc. Which, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, chivalry. Which as
2020,
it's dead in 2020.
So you say women open their own doors now.
Yes.
Women don't want a man to open doors.
No.
Some women don't.
Some women don't want a woman to open the doors for them. You have to remember, with the inclusion of feminism.
Yes.
The idealism of feminism is not for me to open the door for you. Think about it.
Yes.
You're independent enough to open the door for yourself.
Okay.
And by me opening the door, I am
the
being.
word independence. Really.
Do you think that women in this day and age are open to being submissive?
Some. I don't think we can generalize that.
I think
there are a lot of women
there's
who
less.
are. Yeah, there's less.
It's not as.
And I think
Okay,
there's
what
someone
do
who
you
tried.
think?
Go on,
Let's
let talk. Go on.
What do I think? What?
In terms of submissive, some women are completely hell bent against the idea of being submissive to a man, and some women kind of put a condition to say, yeah, if you lead and you are financially sort of what's the word?
Stable.
Dominant, stable, or whatsoever. Then
and you seem like the kind of person that will be able to lead.
Yeah. So, do you think that women are submissive enough, and do you think that women sort of offer submissiveness as, again, a point of leverage to say, I will only submit to you if
I don't think
you have a good job, if you pay my bill.
Outright, though.
No, it's not about what they say. It's not what they say outright. Just likewise.
They behave. Yeah, I think there are women that behave in that way, where they might say, depends on how this guy behaves or shows himself as a leader, depends on how I will act. So
It's not about how you act. I'm talking about submissiveness.
in submissive sense. Yeah.
Do you think that every woman knows how to actually be submissive?
No.
You have to be shown in a lot
No.
of cases.
Because there's a lot of women out there.
And if you're not
So
shown,
is it a case
you're not
of the
going to see.
men lacking, or is it a case of the women actually not knowing how to take the role of being...
It's funny
to
because
take the role
a lot
of submitting to their man.
A lot of grandparents, and I hate to go back into this question it's because we've done this in previous podcasts, but you'll see in a lot of grandparents, almost all, because everybody can talk about their grandparents and their grandma and granddad are still together. Like everybody will say that. Yeah, you will see your granddad have his roles, your grandma have her roles. Being submissive is not necessarily being weak. People need to just understand that.
It's more about playing.
You understand playing your role.
Gender roles.
Yes, playing your gender role. And submissive. Let's get into it. It's
I think
not
that
about
word
being. It
scares a lot of women off.
Precisely.
It's just the word.
Submissive. No, submissive is actually. If you were to go and be submissive, you're actually being strong. It's not about being weak. You are strong enough to say, you know what, I'm going to open up and let somebody do this. You understand? Like, that's actually a strength. It's not necessarily a weakness. But in 2020, it may be seen as the opposite to what it actually is.
So I saw a meme earlier on that said,
It's meme culture.
no man...
Meme culture, you know?
Yeah, it
With
is.
their meme culture, you know?
Meme culture
It's
does
the
kind
one,
of... It projects a lot of
Because
bullshit.
girls will post that stuff loud. Like, this is me.
Meme culture projects a lot of bullshit, but it also projects a lot of truth.
Yeah.
And I saw a meme that had it was a girl holding a placard that basically said any man that's married or has a woman shouldn't cook, clean, or
Go on.
wash his own clothes, etc. You know, the domestic things.
Interesting.
That to me is
That's very old school, though, isn't it?
it's not because of my culture. Never
we were
seen my
talking
dad
about
cook.
this.
I've never seen
And
my
I was
dad
saying
clean the
that-
house.
How old is your dad? I said it's old school. In Western society, that's old school.
No.
It's not old school because it's still
It's not old school,
It's
it's
still in my
Africanism.
face.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah.
I still see it till there.
No, but
If I go to my mum's house,
Yeah. That's
my
what I
dad
want.
can't cook
Yeah.
because my mum has always cooked for him.
All right, let me tell you something. No, he's right, because in my household, predominantly, my mother still cooks. She's probably gonna
That
shoot me
can
for this because she's gonna. My mom is a pretend. No, she's no. I would tell her. I'll tell her straight. She's a pretend liberalist, isn't it? Because she'll pretend.
Why is it
I'm gonna
like-
have to edit some
Why
shit.
is
No, don't edit it.
Mum,
Listen.
mum.
Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell her to her face. It's fine.
Why is it
Like,
pretend?
she's
Okay,
a pretend
go on.
because she will say that everything is 50-50. But when I think about my childhood growing up all the way till now, when Christmas come in, so when I go and visit a Christmas or whatever,
Preparations.
who do you think is in the kitchen? No, who do you think?
The mum and
I've
aunties.
never caught my dad in the kitchen during this period of time. Like
yeah.
never. Even if we have Christmas now and you know, Boris Johnson opens up the gate and I managed to go down to see my mum.
I think that's when the real principals show their face to say
precisely. But
she can't.
No, it's not.
It's almost as if she can't. No,
it's not even. No, let me tell you how bad it is. No, hold on.
I get
My
it.
dad's not even allowed in the kitchen.
And I get it.
Then, right. That's what I'm trying to. No, he's not allowed in.
That's mad.
He's not allowed in. My dad can cook. Don't get it twisted. So you sound like a Saturday.
Your dad is your dad a good
My dad cooks.
Okay.
But
so when it comes to Christmas and certain special,
my dad has that one pot that he cooks.
Oh, one pot. Go on.
Which
but
is-
more time.
But
probably a
my
pot of
mum
soup. Probably a pot of
Alright.
soup. Probably a pot of soup.
A pot of
But when it
soup
comes to the
is- my
fine
dad cooks his
detail,
soups on Sundays.
When it
That's
comes
my
to the
dad's meals.
details.
And yeah, my dad.
Yeah, that's
about
because-
that life.
that's because
I ain't
Anton-
bread.
no, but
I'm not
Anton-
needing. Yeah, my dad needs bread. Because my mum is his hard
no, but Anton,
work. He does the labour in terms of needing. I'm confused.
no, but Anton, you've got to
no,
think of it. You've
go
got to
on.
think of it this way, right? Especially if it's a family gathering.
Go on.
Your aunties are coming around.
Yeah,
Yes.
peeking it.
There-
Mom
Well,
can't be
go
seen
on.
to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
getting dominated in the kitchen
By her man.
because traditionally.
Yeah, it's your role.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's-
mean, it
yeah,
became an insult over time because of liberalism, etc. It became an insult to say,
But my
you
parents are
know,
not better
your
with that
place.
generation.
You know, when they used to have this whole say, I don't know how they used to coin it, but they used to say, you know, the woman's place is the kitchen.
Listen, my dad would tell me say, oh man, like they wouldn't even want to be seen in that way. So they would then get in the kitchen to cook because they don't want to be seen that way, regardless of
Yeah,
how
it's
we are
like,
today.
because you're gonna have certain traditional aunties that's gonna
like,
say,
yo, my girl, what go on?
What
Your man
are
like,
you
What you doing?
doing? Yeah,
Your
what
man's
you
cooking in the
doing?
kitchen. What you doing?
Which is very black. Like even in my culture, if we had a family gathering and my dad was to be seen washing the pots,
my girl, where you
my mom's getting side eyes from my
You just don't want it,
from
innit?
my dad's
Yeah.
sisters.
Yeah.
Like,
What's wrong with you?
what?
Okay, but in 2020,
that's not-
that's changed.
That-
I'm telling you.
Has it
In
changed?
Okay,
or-
I'm not saying it's changed in Zimbabwean culture or African continent culture.
It's only
period,
changed in this
but
Western
in Westernized
diaspora,
world.
yeah.
Because I'm telling you straight now, if it was my house and it's Christmas, I already know I'm cooking. I promise you that.
Why?
Because I cook big.
Okay, so you're
So-
the cook.
Yeah, man. I already know what I'm going already.
And
In my
Tanisha,
house,
you are the what?
I cook big.
What do you do?
I'm not necessarily, and in all of my relationships, this is not even with the wife. In all of my relationships that I've had,
leading.
I've had to be the cook. I cook well when I cook big.
Do you know
So
what,
because
Anton?
of that-
Do you know what? I was actually thinking about this, and I was thinking, and this is gonna be
Don't say what I said, man.
this will sound messed up.
No, man, say it, man.
It's only until I interacted with Caribbeans that I.
Find out the man them cook, innit?
Men.
Yeah, because in my culture,
It's
it's
wild.
unheard of. It's like
See, I find
that is the women's
Yeah.
realm.
So my dad was a.
Men have no place in the kitchen where I come from.
My dad cooked on a weekend, so he used to cook on a Saturday.
There you go.
You see, you know what I'm saying?
My dad can't
Sunday.
cook.
Yeah. No, my dad used to cook on a. My dad's day was Saturday to cook, so he used to cook on a Saturday and he used to bring me
The
in.
thing of-
But
yeah.
now, like, I find with a lot of people that come from the generation after that, we just cook. Like, it is what it is.
Oh no, not in my generation.
See, my
I
parents
think. All right, here's a. Sorry,
Go on.
go on.
My
Carry on.
parents' generation.
I don't know how we've gone from
older
threesomes to cooking, by the way.
than
Generals, yeah. Entanglement.
food and sex entanglement.
Explain to me how we got here. Anyway.
Anyway, what I'm saying, listen, what I'm saying is that my parents' generations are obviously different from your parents' generation.
Look at them all.
Any
How old are your parents? You keep saying that.
75.
That's
Oh,
not,
yeah,
it's
they
as old as
are.
my
They're
grandparents.
like a generation
You got-
older than my.
No,
parents.
we got to think about it.
Anyway,
I'm not gonna say how old my mum is, but my grandma. You're talking about
Your grandma's age.
my grandma's. Yeah, you're moving.
Anyway,
to
so
grandma's
that's
age,
why maybe I'm different.
Okay.
Anyway, but any meal that my father cooks, it's the meal where the pot has it. If it's a pressure, my dad's cooking it.
Yeah. Okay.
So any pot
Technology.
that uses the pressure cooker,
Technology.
my dad is on that.
He's a technology
And
guy.
That's
Okay.
a pressure cooker.
All right.
Any bush cook, men do that in my country. So it's not a place. It's not a case of
Again, I need
women's-
to understand how we got from bringing someone
It
else
doesn't
to the
matter.
bedroom.
I don't
It
know,
doesn't
but
matter.
Anton,
So
here's
We're
the
here now.
thing.
We're here now.
Right. I remember as a child, I've got 3 sisters, and I remember being told, that's not your job. You've got sisters.
Yeah.
Your sisters are going to cook for you if your mom's not there.
Yeah.
The
Before
only time
before it gets to you, it's got to pass through three sisters first.
Do you know what I mean? It's always been looked at as the role.
I understand that. My mom was growing like that, by the way. Because even
So
though
how do we explain
my
that?
mom is one of the youngest, so she's one of 7.
Yeah.
She's number 6 out of 7, and it goes girl, boy, girl, boy, boy, girl, boy. Right? My mom is 6 out of 7. When the 2 oldest girls left, she had to cook for everybody. You understand? As in her older brothers as well. Yeah. So she was raised like that.
So in terms of gender roles, likewise.
But some of the women are bitter because of that, so that's what happens.
No,
next.
but likewise, there's certain things that you would, as a man, if you came to my house and my sister's digging the garden,
then you're seen as
doing any
what's the
laborious
woman
work
doing in the garden.
but my uncles or my male relatives are going to be looking at me like,
wow, Grandma, what are you doing?
What's going on there? Why have you got...
See, it's a double-edged sword for me because you know what? I actually like the ability to be able to...
Switch it up.
Yeah, because it allows me to be able to not rely on a female, which gives me a different set of power.
What do you think it tells your offspring?
Oh, I know. It's you have to be careful what you show them, because you're almost showing them that, okay, what are the gender roles there?
It can almost break masculinity.
Yeah,
it can almost also at the same time enhance masculinity in the females, because a female that's being grown up playing male roles, that's been taught to play male roles, like I think Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man book is problematic.
Explain.
Why so?
Because a woman shouldn't think like a man.
No, she should think like a woman.
Yeah, she should think like a woman.
Yeah, and a man should think like a man.
Why should you think like a man?
Yeah, it's not your job to think like a man.
I read the book and I can't remember it, but okay, I understand.
All right, what?
All I remember from the book.
I read the book. Did you read the book?
I read the book.
I didn't read the book.
I read the book.
I can't remember.
And I understand what he was trying to do.
It's almost feeding into the independent narrative.
To bag yourself a husband and not just
so it wasn't as simple as that. But I understand what you're saying, Tinashe, in the sense that as a woman, your job is not to think like a man.
Yeah, your job is
to be a woman
and embrace your femininity.
Yeah.
It's almost like femininity. It's almost like.
Do you think femininity is getting lost in translation?
Can we not have this conversation?
What do you mean? Let's have it. Why can we not?
Because
do you think
it's like dissing the
okay, that does.
it's like dissing Nicki Minaj's fans. They don't care whether you're right or wrong.
You dissing that
care
area.
about
Dissing Beyonce's fans. They don't care whether you're wrong. So if you diss the what do you call it?
Man said there's no winning, basically.
There's no winning with that community, fam. There's no winning with the feminists.
Again, I'm gonna ask you guys 24 minutes in, how did we get here? Because we were talking about
how did we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here.
Yo, mess up with audio. Look how you because we were talking about
Threesomes.
Does
it help your relationship or not?
Because that's how we got down this 15.
But it came to the whole idea of submissiveness, and I think a woman
yeah.
has to be submissive to allow a man.
And then I said
to bring that even much less, fam. You know, this is the thing. A guy knows the woman that he can even bring that argument to.
You wouldn't even bring it to certain woman. You don't say anything.
Beat you up
on the spot.
Throw you out. Like, what are you talking about?
You would have been Sarah in here.
What kind of nastiness are you talking about, Anton?
Yeah, it's a fact.
You just want me to cook, clean,
yeah.
and not work?
Nah.
That's submissiveness in.
No, but if you think about from an African culture, if you're talking about threesomes, you have to go into polygamy. If you go into polygamy, you have to go into sister wives. No, you have to.
Yeah, carry on.
And if you're going into sister wives, there are advantages to that scenario.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Anton.
I don't know. Am I lying?
Do you think monogamy is a curse to love?
Did you a curse to love?
Yeah.
Why?
I think across the full love spectrum, yes.
Do you think polygamy is... I'm asking you now. Do you think polygamy is a solution to the problem we have with single parenthood? Or at least the idea of multiple partners? I.e., the girl finds out her baby father's cheating.
Okay.
She's pissed off.
Naturally.
She decides I'm not.
Women are territorial.
She decides I'm not having this.
Men are territorial.
Right? Yeah. She decides I'm not having this.
Right.
And the man cheating has amounted to her deciding, okay, we're living together, but I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna get my own house, and I'm gonna move on with my life.
Okay.
So that's a family. That's a black family unit.
That's a split.
Broken.
That's yeah, right.
Another way she could have looked at it was, and this is not me trying to prescribe this as a solution. This is not me saying if your man cheats on you.
This is a scenario.
Yeah, this is a scenario. This is a completely hypothetical scenario, right? Another way she could have looked at it was, okay then, like that messed up.
Speak, man. Yeah,
like that messed up scenario that we had of the guy that found out his girl was cheating and then he suggested he wanted to have a threesome.
Who was she cheating with?
The man, you know
the man that ended up
the bra one, the one that's holding the bra on the floor in the corner.
Nah, you can't do that. You need to elaborate for the people.
No, we
do that. You need to do that.
Okay, so yeah. So there was basically a situation where, you know,
wild.
A girl cheated on a boyfriend.
Tyler
Her boyfriend found out, and then he suggested that he wanted to have a threesome
with the man.
With the man that.
Could you say man that was that you were cheating with?
Okay. We're gonna carry on with the story, but let's hold up there.
Pause.
Right. Pause. Yeah. Pause for a second. So I found out my woman is cheating with the next man,
right?
And I'm gonna say.
Bring the man.
And then get yourself out of the
okay, fine.
Hypothetical.
What I'm saying is, does that man therefore then trust me in that? Could you imagine turning up to that scenario?
Which apparently
thinking you're not gonna get chopped up.
But even in the story, the man was like he was a bit apprehensive because
I wouldn't even be able to perform in that scenario.
She was. Yeah, the other guy was apprehensive.
I'm serious.
The other guy was apprehensive about it because he thought he was getting set up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
nevertheless,
man, don't worry. Come true. I know you've been dicking down my wife. It's fine. Come true.
Eventually, it happened, and then they get down to the threesome now.
Oh my god!
My girl didn't get none.
And then the two guys started meeting.
This story is far left.
This story is not for Afro perspective.
Anyway, lo and behold, the girl was left
in the corner by herself.
While the two men were having their way with each other.
The risks of having a threesome. The second risk of having a threesome. Yeah.
No.
Being left out. Being left out.
Depends on what kind of threesome we're talking.
Okay.
No, you can be left out on both
No.
Yeah,
I know. It's a risk of a threesome. Period.
Yeah.
Even if you bring another woman, you can be left out.
Imagine seeing your guy being more devoted to the other girl.
And you're there laying there looking like,
come on, man. Yeah, please, I'm here. Hello.
Put your hand up. Hello.
And he's more interested in her. That's damaging to the relationship.
I don't think it's beneficial, but as I said previously, it depends on the couple.
Do you think that this generation
the only time it's better is if the girl is on it?
Okay, do you think that this generation that do partake in the threesomes, etc., they partake it on a sexual basis?
They would have to. If they're going
and do you think it's problematic? How else? Okay.
Explain.
I come to you.
It's desperation in some way.
Right, we're in a relationship. I come to you and I say, you know what, make us spice up things, right? But at the same time, I'm involving the third party on a sexual basis, but also on a financial basis. Let's say we live together.
Oh, okay? So this is right? Different now. This is right.
This kind of extrapolates.
Sister girlfriends,
sister wives. Mm-hmm. So we bring in the third girl,
right?
And she's now involved financially.
When we say financially, is she paying rent?
Let's say she's paying rent. Let's say she's involved in the household.
This is too much as far as I'm concerned.
That's already too much.
Like
how?
We're going on holiday. Now we gotta wait for three
people
to get seats together.
Is it too much practically, or is it too much?
It's too much investment because it means you can't discard her.
If she
No,
breaks up with one,
we're
she
not
got
talking
break up with
about.
two
We're
people.
talking about feasibility.
We're talking about threesomes. We're talking about polygamy. 'Cause they said this sounds like polygamy.
No,
Essentially,
but
investing
even
financially,
in,
that's
I
polygamy.
mean, if you can have a threesome sexually, you can have a threesome in terms of a relationship.
For whom? So
All right,
the man's going. The man's
Hold
not in the
on,
house.
While on, stop.
Is she my girlfriend?
I know of a couple that has threesomes. I know of a couple. But that third woman, the second
not
woman,
living there.
she's not living there, and she's not
comes
providing
in
any
sporadically.
financial support. But when she travels up to said place,
They pay for her.
So do you
Deal
think
with
that's why it's problematic? Because the threesomes are sexual based.
they are sexual based.
If you knew that,
why would it
yeah.
But no, but the girl.
If
yeah,
you knew that your man's got, if you knew that there was a third party,
Fine, okay.
but that third party is also paying the bills, then you're no
The fact
longer
that I
just
need to-
looking at her
no.
as she's
The
getting.
fact that I need to bring in somebody else to help pay the bills means that we need to up our money game. Why is
No, it's
somebody
not
else
about
coming?
that. It's not just
What-
paying the bills. We could set up a business.
I don't want to set up a business with 3 people. Is this about me and you, or is this about me, you, and Thelma?
Okay, we're going off on a tangent.
Right, so is threesomes problematic? So basically, it depends on whether.
I think it's very subjective.
Yeah, it's
personally.
subjective. Yeah, but hold on, it's subjective. But I actually believe it's down to the woman. It's not. It's got nothing to do with the man.
Okay.
So it's down to the woman because
Okay.
if the woman is on it, then it's not too much
There's
of an
Mr.
issue.
Frederick not taking any accountability
Yeah,
for the
man, definitely.
man them.
Definitely.
Nevertheless,
No, but it's
I'm
got
on your
nothing to do
side.
with
I'm
that.
on your side, my friend.
It's not nothing to do with the man. It's if the woman is on it, then you're not gonna have any issues. But if you have suggested it and the woman is doing it to keep you, then that's probably gonna provide a whole load of problems.
Should a woman be offended if a man suggests to bring in a third party?
This goes back to our very first conversation on relationships about us discussing what you want from a relationship.
It's not about that.
It is because if you were about that life in the beginning,
could
you have
change during the course.
well to be I suppose if you've been together 10 years or more, then potentially it could change. That is
It's
true.
the spicing things
Like
up.
babes, let's spice it up more and bring our next girl into the yard. And I can just imagine that not going very
It's-
right
it's
for a
too-
lot of man.
Do you
If
think
you
this
need to
conversation
spice
is?
things up,
Do you think this conversation is biased in the sense of if a woman wants to come and say?
Could you imagine the other way around? Man and man not having it.
Left hook, right hook, uppercut.
Yeah, if I can imagine the average woman. It's like, oh yeah, I think we need to spice up the relationship. Let me bring
Hey,
it for
blood clot, girl, how you talk about?
Dexter sent jockey with that. You're just not entertaining it, and you have to sit there and watch your woman. No,
Dangali bambale.
You can't-
She want a man with a big one.
Can we cut this podcast?
you're right.
It's gone too far.
Yeah, let's cut.
33 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was
that was the Afro Perspective
Afro
podcast.
messed up perspective.
Good night.
Good night.
Yo, trust me.
Godspeed.